This story was told to me by our neighbor, middle-aged man named Vladimir. It has happened when he was 36 years old. Further from his own words.
My wife and I had a bad, stupid habit of not locking the door behind us when returning home. You leave for work in the morning and discover that you slept all night with the door unlocked. A quarrel begins over who came in the last and who is more of a bungler. Once the front door swung open at night from a strong draft and began to slam. We were pretty scared that time, but the habit still hasn't gone away. But then something happened that forever taught us to keep all the locks on the door. And damn, I'm seriously thinking of the idea of a good door deadbolt. My home is my castle, as a proverb says, so how can walls help if the gates are wide open? That time I couldn't sleep for a long time. Suddenly I decided to check the front door. I was too lazy to get up, but the desire was obsessive and persistent. I wandered into the corridor, tried the door and, sure enough, it wasn't closed again. I turned one key 4 turns and for some reason the second, lower one, which we never used at all. I took literally 2 steps towards the room when I heard unusual strange sounds outside the door. There was a feeling that someone was running their palms along the door on the other side. Feeling it. As if a blind person had encountered an obstacle and was trying to understand what it was. Although startled by surprise, I turned around with the intention of at least looking through the door peephole view veer. I came close to the door and noticed that the handle began to turn up and down, as if they were trying to open the door. Then a strange, irregular knocking sound was heard. I suddenly felt cold, my heart ached. Not fear or horror, but some kind of black melancholy, a cloudy incomprehensible anxiety crept into my soul. I didn't want to look through the peephole. I quietly began to retreat into the room. My wife woke up and was about to say something. I told her to be silent, and she immediately realized that something was wrong. Her eyes widened. I must say that I have one device that I almost never use. It was a video camera looking at the site and connected to a computer. It was brought as a gift by my brother, who at that time worked in an office that installed video surveillance systems. At that time, when he brought it as a present to my birthday, we looked at it, played around a couple of times and forgot about the camera. Now I remembered about it. I don't know what human character trait makes us look into evil's eyes. So I sat down at the computer and launched an image of the site. What was it? I don't know, but I saw it and my wife saw it. Something, wrapped in some dark rags, unnaturally bending and wobbling, wandered around the site, scratching at the doors, pulling handles, crouching and listening to the sounds in the apartments, looking into the eyes. The head of this something was also wrapped in rags. Dark arms protruded from the rags, long, narrow, with unnaturally long fingers, 2 to 2.5 times longer than usual. A few more times it came to my door and squatted against it for a long time. It seemed that my heart stopped. Ewife's tears flowed. She bit the edge of the sheet so as not to make a sound. Confused, I was praying, saying the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, to myself. Then it crawled down. An early June morning brought the dawn on the street. If we lived in a village, we would probably hear the roosters. Another hour later we came to our senses. I regret that my wife saw this. She is still coming to her senses. I see how she is still very scared. Yesterday she asked me to move to a different apartment. Well, it's possible. I feel like moving out myself.
Yes, it's somehow not the same for me here anymore. But I'm thinking, what would happen if I hadn't closed the door? Would we be found with our insides torn open and blood running down the walls, or as they show in horror movies, huddled in a corner, with faces twisted in mortal horror and hearts stopped? Or does this evil creep into the soul, and a person with glazed eyes goes to the kitchen for a kitchen knife? Or takes a step out of the window? I don't know. I don't want to know. Close the door. Take care of yourself. Peace to your home.